a text. Actually, Jennifer, one of our followers, just posted up, said, man, she's like, this is ridiculous. America funds wars, but we can't protect these kids. There's a post that she put up from Pasco County Schools. Mm-hmm. This was 39 minutes ago. Says, we are reaching out this morning to let you know that we are aware of the threat that is circulating online. Law enforcement is aware and is investigating. The threat doesn't specify any Pasco County schools.
Okay.
It's
a big problem right now.
A huge problem. Mm-hmm. There were like 111
that
were made like last week, according to the news story.
Yeah.
Where's Volusia County? Volusia County.
Let's see here.
On our spec sheet here, it says 11-year-old boy in Volusia County was hauled off to the county jail.
Yep.
That's like Daytona Beach area?
Okay, yeah. He had made threats to shoot up the school, according to the sheriff, Mike Chitwood, wrote that the handwritten list of names and targets were why he got arrested. He says that it was all a joke, but the sheriff's office deputies recovered a bunch of airsoft rifles. What's an airsoft rifle?
Airsoft
like a
gun.
pellet gun?
Like a pellet gun, yeah.
Okay. Airsoft rifles, pistols, fake ammunition, along with knives, swords, and other weapons he was showing off to other students in a video. For his actions, Carlo Kingston Dorelli, who is 11, will be charged with felony making a written threat of a mass shooting.
My God.
I know he's saying that this is a joke, but what kind of joke is that?
There are a lot of people who are using that as a defense, because I saw Chad Chronister talk about 2 people that were arrested like a week and a half ago, and he put out a service message just saying, hey, talk to your kids because this isn't funny. This is how, you will get the full bore of the agency for making a joke like that.
As you should.
As it's not funny.
Dude, like nowadays, especially with all the threats going on or just the shootings that we're seeing, we have to take these seriously because we don't know who's joking and who isn't.
I don't even think kids that are going to school think that that's even remotely funny at all. I mean, it's disgusting.
I think you need to go.
Yeah.
As an 11-year-old, for sure.
Like, whoever makes the threat, so like whether it's a joke or not, whether you got whether it's a reality that you have made a plan or you just made a comment, I think once you do that, you voted off the island. Now it's time for homeschool.
Yeah, for sure. I think you should get vaporized at least.
Oh, I mean, something's going to happen to him as 11-year-old. The sheriff said, I can and will release the names and photos of any juveniles who are committing these felonies, threatening our students, disrupting our school, and consuming law enforcement resources.
It's funny that when we see kids get in trouble, parents usually still ride for their kid because they're like, hey, maybe we can show solidarity. Maybe we can get something reduced or whatever. I could see myself sticking up for my kid for a lot.
Yeah, of course.
Not that.
But not that.
Not this.
Like, I'm like, if you thought that it was, even if you thought it was funny, I ain't going to throw you to the wolves, but I ain't going to be out there in front of you like, hey, you can't back that.
Dude,
like, that's insane.
And we don't know if it's the parents' fault, but if I was their parent, I'd be embarrassed.
No, I think if anything, talk to your kid about the fact that the one kid, the shooter from a couple weeks ago, his dad's facing like 100 years.
Yeah. Yep.
So it ain't just making like, a threat or a joke or whatever. Now your parents are, culpable because you're a minor and they're the ones in.
You always look at the parents when you see something like this. No matter if you hear kid or teen or anything like that, and then they're arrested, you automatically, once you see the story and then see the charges and what they were arrested for, you immediately think about the parents. Yeah, how do you not know about this situation?
That parent, though, the one from the most recent shooting, he went and got the guns from the evicted apartment and all that, so he deserves to get 100 years because he
gave his son
he gave
weapons.
him that.
But they were looking into him already, and because he came,
he was on the FBI
because
list.
he told, they're investigating. That's another thing too. Listen,
like you've been on the list for a year.
I love you. I love both of my daughters. But if the feds show up,
bye.
Guess I might start over.
Yeah.
You can't just be getting Fed charges at 12.
Yeah.
You know what I'm saying? Like, come on.
Yeah.
Like, anyway, but the dude apparently had told them that he had taken away all of the weapons, but then gifted his child one. And they're like, how you gonna give ammunition to somebody we're looking into? So
Yeah, and I'm happy that. Listen, if you're an 11-year-old and you think that this is even remotely interesting or funny, guess what? Your picture is now going to be up in front of the entire world, and essentially your life is going to be ruined.
Yeah, and I know there's a lot of parents out there that are going to be like, "Oh, he's only 11, he's a child." I think
At 11, you know.
At 11, you know, but you need to go to juvie. There needs to be something, not just a slap on the wrist. There needs to be some kind of consequences so that these kids realize that you can't be joking around like
Serious.
that.
Well, I mean, we talked about it a little bit yesterday when we were talking about kids are different. Because, like, you know, like there was a story that we were looking at that was basically talking about how kids now are really, really dependent on
Their parents
in the unit, and talking about the fact that kids were showing up to interviews with their parents.
Yeah, that's
like
crazy.
for a job interview. And the fact that kids now are really super sensitive now, and you got to watch what you say, and blah, 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 blah.
Hurts their feelings.
And we, you know, here, our street team, you have to be 21 to be on the street team.
Yeah.
So, you know, it's not like 18-year-olds that are just getting into the workforce. And we've had people show up with their parents.
On an interview?
Yeah.
That's incredible.
That's
that you would just, as a parent, just be like, you know what, I'm just going to sit here. As a 21-year-old adult, want your parent to sit next to you in a job interview.
That's giving dependency issues. Like crazy.
I mean, but you also get like the real, like as far as like, because the parents are going to get, like I've sat in the interview where the parent was listening to their answers and correcting their answers. Like, you know, like they say, oh, well, yeah, I could do that. And they're like, you can't do that. And I was like, you know, and I'm dead serious.
You do that at home.
I'm dead serious.
We go through this at the house.
Like, so, I mean, kids now are different. We talk about all the differences, and that's a big part of it.
This is me personally. Y'all can totally disagree with me. I would feel like I wasn't doing my job as a parent, or I'm leaning on failure. If I understand how nervous it can be to be a 21-year-old, and that's why you have to practice at home and read some books about interviewing. It doesn't matter if you're watching TikTok videos about addressing these issues. You cannot send your kid in as a 21-year-old, and then you are attached to them at the hip, sitting there while they sit down and have an interview. What is wrong?
I wouldn't hire them.
I mean,
well, no.
I wouldn't hire them.
Well, one person we hired whose parent wasn't inside, the person's parent was outside.
That's different.
And but
Is it?
I think no.
They're outside doing what?
No,
Wait a minute.
they were outside in the car.
Maybe that was their car. That was their ride. Like maybe they don't have a car, and the reason why they're trying to get the job so they could get their
No,
own
you're
car.
still coddling them. You're holding their
You
hand
still
on the
need
way
a
to
ride.
the interview. Hold on. Even if you're sharing a car, mama, daddy can stay home. You gotta get your mind right before you drive up to your new workplace potentially, and get in the mindset you're about to sit down and do an interview.
I won't say who it was because I don't want to embarrass anybody. But just for an example, I will say that I spent probably an hour and a half giving the person a tour of the building, having an interview, introducing them to other program directors in the building and everything. So it's about an hour and 45 minutes. Yeah. And then when I was kind of done, and I'm like, okay, well, is there anything else, other questions you have? And they're like, no. And they're like, I'm trying to think. And they're like, well, like my mom's outside. And I was like, wait. I'm like, your mom's outside? And I was like, you got your mom sitting outside in the car? Mm-hmm. And so we went outside, and I went out to meet the mom or whatever.
Yeah.
And I was like, yo, I didn't know you were outside. We would have invited you in or let you, like, you know, come into the lobby or to the air, get some coffee or whatever. And they were fine. So they left. But, I mean, yeah, they're parents. I've had 3 interviews where I've had parents.
My mom was in New York. My mom didn't even come with me to drop me off at college. So come on. My mom.
She just put you on the plane.
Yeah,
and said,
she legit was like, yeah, you
If you're 14, 15, 16, and you're going on your first job interview, or maybe even your second, I can totally see riding with your kid. That's acceptable. You are a 21-year-old human being adult, and you want your mom to hold your hand on your drive to your new job?
They get you, like, you know, kind of like in your corner as a
Listen,
boxer. Like, all right, listen,
Ubers are
you go in
expensive,
there and you don't
okay?
go in there making no funny noises. You know, I know you ate tacos yesterday. Like, your parents can talk to you a different way.
That's why we have phones. You can call your mom if you need somebody to, you know, get you ready for the job interview, to pat you on the back, to whatever, make you feel good. That's what a phone call is for.
No,
Somebody said, I can understand if the child is 21. or maybe has like some sort of extra needs or whatever, the parent should be in the interview. Other than that, the parent should not be at the interview.
No.
Out of the 407, 21-year-old moving like a 15-year-old.
Yeah.
I agree.
I would feel like
this
I'm
person
failing.
just said, Kaya just said, or Kia just said, now wait a minute, mama can be outside in the car
Yes.
as a ride, Mary.
Yes.
I disagree.
It's
I
not
totally
something that
disagree.
should come up like an example Orlando's given, but they can be outside. Shout out to the New Yorker.
Not all
example.
moms give their child a car to just go.
21
I mean,
to a job interview. It's about being an adult,
Maybe that counts.
establishing
Maybe that should
independence.
get
Another person out of the 941, the parent out in the car doesn't seem that wrong. What
Yeah.
if it was a
That's
dream
weird.
job for their child and they wanted to be there as support?
Yes, being a street teamer here is very much a dream job for a lot of people.
I mean, I'm just saying, it gets you into your path.
it could get you into your dream job.
Yeah, I mean, it
Hey,
can.
right here.
It's more normal than you think, somebody just wrote.
Right.
Yeah, some people don't have rides.
Y'all are embarrassing.
But now, just going
I've
back.
had several interviews with high schools, and moms want to sit right behind the kid to help answer questions. It's more normal than you think.
I want to go back to your.
No.
I want to go back to your situation because you said that you went outside to go meet the parent, right? Do you feel like you gave that person a little bit more preferential treatment because you met their parents when you interviewed them?
No, I think that it was appropriate for me to. If I hear, first of all, I thought about my mom. My mom's sitting outside for 2 hours.
2 hours.
And I'm sure my mom ain't letting the car run like that because she was cheap.
Mm-hmm.
So I'm like, and I'm thinking like, man, your mom outside just burning up. I'm like, let's go take her some water or something. I'm like, or at least let me walk you out because I was trying to get my day back because it was a long day. I was like, damn, we've been here almost 2 hours.
Yeah.
So I was trying to get my day back. So I was like, let me walk you out and I'll meet your mom. That then got the interview over, and then I was able to transition and say, hey, man, go ahead, take your kid.
Go ahead.
Go get now.
I don't know. It's giving like you got to get the baby off.
I feel like low key, like that was a little life hack.
My child ain't driving my new car. I'll drop him off.
There you
There
go.
you go. Okay.
Exactly.
Now you're 21 and it's giving me the ick. If I found out I was dating somebody like 21, 22 and you brought your mama to the interview.
Okay, all right. What about
You didn't bring your mama. Your mama dropped you off.
what about the person that we hired? And I know y'all. I'm not gonna say no names again because I love my folks.
Okay.
Uh,
I don't know who you're talking
but
about.
what about the person who showed up for the street team? Street team is the muscle behind everything we do, by the way. So you see us out and about or whatever, you usually see them as the back line. And we had one person who joined the street team and their husband started showing up to do the work for them. like when they had to lift like speakers and stuff.
That
like
is
their
embarrassing.
husband was doing stuff. I remember because they showed up to work the toy drive, and I was like, "Who's that guy down there?" And they're like, "Oh, that's so and so's husband." And I was like, "What?" Like he works for us too. They're like, "No."
That's a liability.
He just, and that's what they
That's
had to
a
explain to
huge-
him. They're like, bro, that's a liability. You can't.
Yeah, you get
just
injured
you
or
can't just be
something.
assisting your wife on stuff or whatever. He's like, yeah, but she's working all these different times and stuff, and so I like to come to work with her.
It's sweet, but you got to put your foot down. Like, no, I
Yeah,
got this job.
we had to tell him like
Yeah.
you can't do that.
Once again, dependency issue. That makes me think that you can't do anything without that person.
But he was being just the ultimate gentleman. Like he was like, yo, I'm not gonna leave.
I get that.
Sweet. That's
I
sweet.
get that.
I'm not allowing my husband
See-
to like show up at my job and then do my job, especially in front of my boss.
See-
That's essentially what that person did. That is embarrassing.
I could be wrong, but like in that situation, that gives me or makes me think that the husband doesn't trust his wife to be alone.
No, I mean, I thought about
That's
that.
a
I
little
thought
heavy
about that they
stuff.
don't trust him around wild because I'm like, listen, the stories that we've heard about this building. I mean, a lot of husbands don't want their wives up here.
No,
At a toy drive though, like you
a charity event.
Bro, I mean, I'm just saying they were doing a lot of stuff in the building back and forth.
By the way, I'm not. People are texting and about. I have an attitude about this whole independence. 21-year-old.
You do have an attitude.
I
Your
do.
eyes
I
are
do.
very
I
wide.
do. And it's not. Yes, I am. I'm heated about it. But I'm not talking about the person that doesn't have a car needs to be dropped off. I'm not talking about that.
You're talking about the person dependent on the
On their-
parents' involvement.
Right. But taking your parent to a job interview with you, ew. And then also you have to have your mama sitting in the car for 2 hours. Like that's crazy to me.
They don't got a ride, man.
No, I'm not talking
You don't
about
know that they don't have a ride. You didn't do the interview.
Yeah. exactly.
You don't know.
Come on,
You're
now.
making it up.
I'm not talking about needing a car.
But at that point, I'm okay with the parents being outside. I don't think that's a
That's
problem.
because your mom is
I
bored.
think walking up like looking like stepbrothers, like you're in the interview and they're behind you.
They sit behind you.
And they're like, yeah,
Answer the man
we're
correctly.
doing this together.
Richie, answer him correctly.
Yeah, that's a problem.
Do you
That is
guys get a
problem.
lot of bathroom breaks? Because Richie's bladder, I gotta tell you, like that's where it's a little bit rough.
Sometimes Richie's blood sugar gets low. How many breaks do y'all take? Yeah, like that's a problem. That's a problem.
Exactly.
So I don't know, man.
All right, man, we got to take a break.
Thank you for watching this video. For all things wild, don't forget to like, share, and subscribe to support the channel.